I'm going to be honest with you guys, this is a video I really didn't want to make, but I had to make it for the sakes of Halo Reach on PC and MCC's future on the PC platform. If you're not aware already, Halo Reach was released on PC a month ago as 343's starting route of bringing the entire Master Chief Collection to the PC. When it was released, it shattered most people's expectations. It became a top seller on Steam even before it was released. The Master Chief Collection was one of the most viewed games on Twitch, outbeating games such as CSGO and Dota, and reached 100,000 active players a day and 3 million players during the entire launch week. But if you look at the Steam charts now, 95% of players have left the game after just 1 month of it being released, and the game now only gets around 5,000 players a day. While 5,000 players is still more than enough to find matches, it's pretty much a ghost town compared to how it was at launch. Halo Reach, in a way, failed on PC for some people, and while everyone has their own opinion as to why it failed to deliver or even if it failed at all, here are my reasons why Halo Reach is in trouble on PC. Now, I already know some of you guys are already disliking the video just because I said Halo Reach has not been a success, it's not doing well, because I guess people can't have a wrong opinion on YouTube. So let me clear some things up before I begin. I still love Halo, and I still enjoy Halo Reach on PC, and the current state of it isn't going to change that. I just want to talk about the flaws the game has on PC to help people understand why it's in the current state it's in right now, and hopefully for 343 and other developers to get an idea of what to focus on when they're working on their upcoming titles. The first reason is the PC port itself. For the most part, Halo Reach runs well enough for it to be playable, but there are a few issues the game has when it comes to running on PC. The major one is the uncapped frame rate not working properly, which was a must-have for PC gamers. I don't know why people keep saying that Halo Reach's frame rate works properly, that, they're getting multiple frames and it looks so much better than the original, or at least better than 60 frames. I've tested it, it doesn't work properly. I can even see it on my 144Hz monitor that it's not working properly, which is why I cap it at 60. I'll explain why in a minute and I'll show you my evidence, but for now I just want to talk about why this is a thing. I've already made a video talking about this, so I'll just summarize it for you guys. Halo Reach only creates the illusion of uncapped frame rates by doubling each frame instead of actually creating multiple individual frames as most PC games do. The problem with this is that it creates a lot of ghosting issues. You may be experiencing double vision and stuttering at times. I've tested this by comparing how frames look in other PC games compared to Halo. I played each game at 144 frames per second and record the gameplay on my GoPro at 120 frames per second so I could cut in half to 60 frames per second in my editing software to show you what I'm talking about. Pay attention to how the game looks at half speed. It runs smoothly even when slowed down. You can still see that there are people there. You could see exactly what I'm shooting at, and it looks like a really smooth video. But when you play Halo Reach at uncapped frame rates at a high refresh rate monitor, it just gets ugly. You could already see the ghosting issues I was talking about earlier. The game looks like it's shaking and the player models get fuzzy. It's a pain in the ass when it comes to aiming, since you could be seeing a shaky version of a player and would have to choose which frame is the accurate one to shoot at in a matter of milliseconds. The only way a player can fix this is by capping the frames at 60, but since the game can run pretty much on a potato PC, most people aren't going to settle for 60 frames per second. It's really unfortunate since there are people out there that are building high-end PCs just to get more frames in Halo Reach, when in reality I'm just looking at them like it's not gonna help you, bro. It only makes the game run worse, which is ironic. It should make the game run better, but it just doesn't. It doesn't work properly. Less important issues include the UI and how it's cramped together because it's a copy and paste from the console version, the player model shoulder being shown when playing at high field of views, and how every model takes up half of your screen when playing with a centered crosshair. Again, not that big of a deal, but these are just problems that pile onto each other over time and it just gets messy. The second reason is that it's too console friendly. What I mean by this is that the game benefits controller players over mouse and keyboard players. Whether or not 343 intended this to be a thing, it's definitely an issue. There has been this back and forth debate on whether or not controllers are at advantage over mouse and keyboard players. Based on my experience, it's true. It's not a drastic advantage, but there's definitely advantages in controllers. Based on feedback and multiple tests with both controllers and mouse and keyboards, the game definitely gravitates more towards controller players. Not only does the movement not work properly with mouse and keyboard, but the in-game performance also benefits controller players too. When you plug in a controller, the game enables aim assist, bullet magnetism, and reduces the ghosting issues mouse and keyboard players have to deal with. Aim assist is fine in my opinion, but the fact that bullet magnetism isn't allowed to be with mouse and keyboard players and the visuals mess up when using a mouse to look around is something that shouldn't happen. Another advantage controllers have over mouse and keyboard is the movement. You may have noticed that the movement feels restricted compared to other PC games. For example, when playing with the game shown on screen, when you press A or D to change from one place to another, it's instant action. It does it as soon as you press it. In Reach, however, when you try to do the same thing, the player model has to pull the brakes first before they move into the other direction. It's almost like you're driving a vehicle instead of being a soldier, and it's really annoying because you can't strafe properly on mouse and keyboard because this is a thing. One last movement issue I want to talk about is PC players not being able to crouch while moving. The way crouching while moving worked back then was that you had to slow your movement down to around 70% before you can crouch. This worked perfectly fine with controllers. The problem here is that keyboards only have two movement options, 100% or 0%. You would have to completely stop moving, then crouch in order for it to work, which really isn't possible since this is a fast-paced arena shooter. 343 is currently working on a fix for this, but these issues just keep piling on top of each other and it creates a huge mess that 343 has to fix. I know, I can already see you guys putting down in the comment section, Halo is different because of the high time to kill. Halo was made for consoles. You're probably complaining because you're bad at the game. Shut up. This is no longer Xbox. This is PC. Even if any of that was true, people shouldn't have to go out to buy a controller and remap their hand-eye coordination just to be competitively viable. When you buy a game on PC, you generally want to play with PC peripherals, but when that doesn't even work, it just turns off a lot of PC gamers and is probably the biggest reason why people have left the game. It just doesn't work well on PC. The third and final reason for this video is the gameplay. While this is something you can't really fix, it's still a reason why Reach is in its current state. Halo Reach was the first Halo to introduce things like loadouts, armor abilities, and bloom. The game received mixed reactions from fans. You either loved Reach or hated it. Since Reach is coming to an entirely new player base that has never experienced the evolution of Halo's gameplay, first impressions were probably mixed as well. Fans that didn't like Reach back then are still not going to like it now. PC gamers coming from modded versions of Halo such as Project Cartographer or Halo Online are probably going to dislike it. Like I said before, this is something 343 can't really fix since this was the way Reach was meant to be played. Thankfully, this is only a temporary issue since all the other Halos are different from each other, but first impressions last a lifetime, and if their first impression with the first official Halo PC port wasn't a great one, it's less likely they'll come back for any of the other ones. All of this is debatable and everyone is entitled to their own opinions, but one thing is for sure, Halo on PC is in trouble, and something needs to be done soon if Halo is to survive and thrive on PC. I think the reason why these issues aren't being brought up as much as they should be is because fans and content creators are just happy that they got something after 5 years of no new Halo games and are just trying to make the best of it. While I understand why that would be the case, these issues shouldn't be pushed aside because it would show 343 that people would be okay with broken ports and will be able to fix them later on. Again, I'm not hating on Reach itself. I love the base game, and the entire franchise is still my favorite of all time. It just sucks seeing that even bringing it to a new player base can't revive it to what it was 10 years ago. Most of the issues I mentioned are currently being fixed, but what I'm worried about is when these issues will be fixed, and if all the other Halo games are going to be like this. It's already too late for Reach to be the game to bring in new Halo fans. I just hope that the other Halo games won't have to go through what Reach is currently going through right now. Anyways, I'm about to lose my voice, so I'm going to stop right here. I hope you did enjoy the video. If you did, comment down below, leave a like, subscribe for more content, and I'll talk to you all later. Peace.